What is up, fam? How we doing? Got the sunglasses back. We have been getting medical help finally, and I'm gonna be getting something like a CPAP machine to help me sleep. So, but we are or should be live. Let me make sure. Over here, if I go over here, you'll probably see some weird stuff. Here, do this. Yeah, okay. I guess it's a little behind, but we are on Moonbeam. My tablet's like there's a big time delay between my tablet. I think it's because I'm using the plugin, the Atom multi-stream plugin. I think there's any delay there, but got this new service just went live yesterday for everybody, so we're testing it out. We're gonna see how it goes. Let me know how I sound, how the music sounds. I also changed the bitrate for my microphone, so I guess for the whole stream. So that might make things sound different too. Looks like I'm spiking a little bit. Might have to turn on my microphone. Gonna turn down a hair here. Okay. Don't want to be spiking on OBS. But what I will be doing for the foreseeable future, I bought this bundle, and I did not buy it for the $40 you see on the screen for $84. Hi Nathan, how you doing? Can't stick around, but a quick one to say hi. Hope you're doing well. Yes and no. Daylight say I hate daylight savings time. On top of everything else, was rough. But try out new things. And like I said, I got this bundle. If you go over here to 82 items, you're just missing out on these two, which I guess are physical items, and you get all the digital stuff. And it's 80 stories, 80 different adventures. Some of them are settings, but a lot of them are adventures. Some of them are also like for 5th edition, but most of them are for a system called Dungeon Crawl Classics. And so what I'll be doing, I'll be going through these. Again, I only spent $18, and now I have basically stories for life to play through, modules to play through. I appreciate you stopping by, Nathan. I get that you can't say. I'll be talking to you on Discord about setting up a game of. If you guys don't know, I am a fan of the Queer XP. I love listening to their stuff. Hopefully, I'll be on there at some point this year. But they just played a game. Download it and wherever you get your podcasts. They just played a game of. Oh my goodness, what's it called? Role playing. I think I just added in here. I also just downloaded it because it was a one-page thing, which I had paid for before. We go over to Google Drive, maybe. I didn't mean to go there. I meant. Sorry, over here I have it. Something Sexy Battle Wizards. Sexy Battle Wizards. It's very simple, super simple. There's 3 stats. Sexy is all like charming rolls. Battle is like if you want to do something physical, and then Wizards if you want to do something magical. And you get a 3, a 2, and a 1. And whenever you're doing a check, if it relates to one of those stats, you roll that many d6. And the difficulty could be, if it's a really easy thing, it could be as low as 4, but some of the difficulties were higher. They're like 6. So, and I think that it said on the sheet that it depends on the outcome. That's what's going to actually tell you what the. It looks like we are streaming fine on the on that. That's awesome. Shoot. Let me come over here. Let me look at it. This is it. This is the whole thing. It says succeed best. Difficulty. Standard sexy battle wizard stuff. The standard results is 4. 5 is audacious or risky stuff that has great impact. And 6 is clutch against the odds stuff. that can really turn the tide of a situation. And what I was saying was the difficulty isn't like how likely is it to happen. I think they said it's how impactful will the result be, something like that. I didn't get down here to the stress stuff yet, which didn't come up in the one shot. This seems like a perfect one shot situation here. Let me know also if there's like a big delay in what I'm saying to what the video is, or if you're getting everything a few seconds behind, so it makes sense what I'm saying compared to what you're seeing. Obviously, my computer is not used to uploading two streams at once. I do have good internet though. I'm wired, so everything should be good. Still playing, right? Yeah, it's just a quiet part. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, so you come over here. There is, this is a live page right now. I believe it said there's like 8 days and 17 hours left in this deal. So a week and a half to come over here. And I went through these because last time in these bundles, you can get like a lot of repetitive stuff or a lot of stuff you don't really care about. And then like, that'd be one or two things you might be like, well, I guess that one thing was worth $18. Not the case in this. I can go over here to my Google Drive and show you. I can't open up all these. Some of these are too big to open up in preview form. But just look at all this as I scroll down. But what I'm going to be doing is I can open it up on my computer desktop. I've organized it on my desktop based on the level, because what I'm going to be looking for when I run this for my friends is what's a good thing for their current level, right? Why is this whole end of this song really quiet? All right, 4 more seconds to the next song, guys. So if I go over here to my folder, let's just look at some of these 1 to 3. So in the level 1 to 3 category, first of all, I think there was 30 I counted earlier. 30 of these early issues. Okay, it's all on screen. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 20. Exactly 30. And some of these will take them all the way from 1 to 3. Some of them are technically level 2, and some of them are level 0. So this system has something that's called level 0. And what this system does, let's go ahead and take a look at one of these. One of these dungeon crawl classes does is you're supposed to take, like, everybody's supposed to have, like, start with 4 commoners, basically. And so you have, like, 16 people going into this dungeon. And not all of them are going to survive. They really want you to roll like random stats to start with, and the ones that survive, you still might have players that are controlling more than one player or one hero as the story progresses. And that could be fun if for the right group. And I think my group might even enjoy that. My group is definitely more hack and slash than roleplay, but I could also see them getting frustrated with it. So I'll let them know that that's a thing. But here it shows the adventure for characters level to 1 to 3. And this is a 36-page one. I don't know if you can see that on there, 1 to 36. And this is one of the smallest ones. Most of these are much more than that. So what I'm going to be doing, probably for the rest of the year, if I don't have people to roleplay with on my channel, or until I have a roleplay situation, then maybe like on my off days and my prep days, we can come in here and do this. We're going to be looking at how to convert this stuff to D&D. The biggest, or any role-playing game for that matter, the biggest problem that I can run into as far as being a dungeon master is running out of ideas. Now, my players have a lot of triggers, so I am going to have to go into these and make sure that none of the triggers are there. I think that these rat people will be fine. I think even with rats is fine as long as it's not in real life. But like we can't do any kind of bug. I can't even say the word worm. Luckily, my roommates aren't home right now. Hopefully, they don't watch this later and that doesn't trigger them. But that kind of stuff I have to be really careful with. So, and then a big thing in Eberron, which is the campaign we're running right now, although I took characters outside of Eberron and put them in Eberron, I wanted to keep running Eberron stuff, but the problem is that it keeps talking about demons, which I'm fine with. And even in the game Eberron, demons is not supposed to be like someone from the Nine Hells. It's just supposed to be Eberron's word for monsters. One of my players is triggered by the word demon. So I either call them devils or I call them fiends. Lots of times when we do have those type of characters come up and we're still gonna like kind of have them in the game. But it's that kind of situation. So this is the first of 30 that we're gonna take a little bit of a look at tonight. And we'll see, like, I didn't read all these yet, so there could be repetition in the story styles and stuff, but I have not seen the same story twice, the same exact story. And some of the magazines, some of them are like were in like magazine format, and they didn't even have an order. They just have different random ones. So there are some that go from like 1 to 13, and the like. But tonight, let's look at Idols of the Rat King. You think? That's probably. I'm guessing that's what that is. I think that's different spelling of idols. Unless that's the correct spelling, and I'm just like really really not getting it. Now this is 3.5, but that's not for D&D. Again, right? This is for Dungeon Crawl Classics, which I feel like kind of. I'm not gonna misspeak or misquote. But let's just say they're on a 5th edition. They also had a 4th edition and 3.5 edition. Take that with what you will, but I don't know like the dates and how that works. I do know that this is supposed to be more combat focused, more dungeons and hack and slash focused than role playing focused. Now, if you have the right group and you guys are role players, that's not going to matter. The story, the background stuff isn't going to matter because you're going to be able to role play with each other. But my group, they love it when we get these modules. There are a lot of like dungeons, a lot of hack and slash stuff. So that's why I was excited to see this. And when I previewed a few of them, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely going to spend this $18, even if I only find like 18 missions in this whole thing, right? And like I just said, there's 30 right there from 0 to level 3. Some of them just say level 2. But again, I can always tweak the encounters to be of whatever level we need them to be of. It's the story stuff, it's a story background that I need to not run out of ideas for. Remember the good old... So yeah, this is in all of these, so I'm not going to be reading this every time, but we'll read it this time because this is the first time we're doing this. Remember the good old days when adventurers were underground... I'm sorry, adventurers were underground, NPCs were there to be killed, and the final of every dungeon was a dragon on the 20th level. Those days are back. Dungeon Crawl Classics Adventures don't waste your time with long-winded speeches, weird campaign settings, or NPCs who aren't meant to be killed. Each adventure is 100% good, solid dungeon crawl with the monsters you know, the traps you remember, the secret doors you know are there somewhere. And I will also admit that I do need something to give me traps, ideas for traps, because I've not been able to find a way that's what's the word? Rewarding to me or satisfying to me. Present traps to my players. So I'm glad that's going to be in here. Whenever I say DCC in the future, that's Dungeon Crawl Classics. That's what it stands for. Or if the book says DCC in the future. Idols of the Rat King was awarded an honorable mention for Best Adventure in the 2003 Gen Con Any Awards. In Idols of the Rat King, goblin bandits are once again attacking the silver caravans, killing innocent miners and stealing cargo. Goblins have taken up residence in an abandoned mine northwest of Silverton. Someone must get rid of them. This is no ordinary abandoned mine. It was deliberately barricaded generations ago when the Ganu family, founders of Silverton, discovered an unspeakable evil at its lowest level. And these are no ordinary goblins. The curse of the Ganu family courses through their veins. If you enjoy this adventure, look for the rest of the Dungeon Crawl Classics series. which is made by Goodman Games. That's this logo right here, Goodman Games. They make DCC. I read through the. By the way, the DCC player handbook is here too. Let's just take a quick look at that before we get any further, so we just know and understand a little bit about the differences. That's going to be over here. No. Core rulebook. Need to rename this something better. Because it's still named the thing. It was called Dungeon Crawl Classics RPG Core Rulebook Doc. Or not DCC. Okay, so this is what the core rulebook looks like. Got some cool art, although dated, especially with some of the kind of stuff. It's kind of cool that although in here some of these are clickable. Like right here, you can click on this to go to the website. Credits. That's cool art. They do now. This is kind of cool thing they do is they'll have pictures of people at their conventions, and they'll put it right in the books. That's kind of cool. Fan service there. Table of contents. Okay. So in this game, these are the kind of classes situation. You have clerics, you have thieves, warriors, wizard, dwarf, elf, and halfling. And yes, elf and halfling and dwarf are classes. From what I read. I feel like this game wanted to be I'm not going to say simpler than Dungeons & Dragons. It's similar in a lot of ways. But in the ways that it's not, I feel like sometimes it makes it overly complicated or more complicated. A lot of that has to do with the magic system. But spell duels right here, that's interesting. And like I said, complicated. Got lots of tables in here, which can be helpful. But I kind of skimmed it the other day. I didn't read it hard. I read like the beginning hard and kind of skimmed the rest of it. And it's not the easiest read. Let's just put it that way. But this is in the bundle. So if you just want to run the game DC just as it comes in the bundle, you have all that you need for that. But me, I'm here for the different story ideas and the different dungeons and, like I said, traps that kind of set up. Hi, Peter Bread. Oh, I should see if anybody's chatting with me on Moonbeam. Nope, no more, not yet. Cool. That's so for me, just so you know, if anybody's watching on Moonbeam, it's a different pop out on the web browser, or I could just go to the Moonbeam tab up there. But then, like, you know, we could do the whole stream size, that could get like wild. But if I take a while to respond, it's because it's not easy for me to see your comments yet. How you doing today, Peter Bread? We are looking at a humble bundle that is available for 8 more days. That you can pay $18 for 82 items. You can also pay $40 and get 2 of these hard copy physical items. I didn't do that. I just got all the digital stuff for $18. Let me know how the music sounds compared to my voice, and if there's like a delay for what I'm showing you. Like, is it making sense when I'm talking versus what's on the screen? Because there's definitely a delay in me watching the replay situation over here on my tablet. So it says it requires the use of the Dungeons & Dragons Player's Handbook, published by Wizards of the Coast. This product utilizes updated materials, 3.5 revision. But this is Dungeon Crawl Classics. That's interesting. This item is only one of the many popular role-playing aids published by Goodman Games. Other role-playing aids currently available or scheduled include all these ones, which most of these are probably in this. I haven't memorized the whole list of books. Okay, so here we have a nice dungeon layout. It's got the numbers, so when you reading later, you can come back and reference this and see exactly what these numbers are. I would like at some point to be able to, like, I'm probably gonna need to get my own printer. My roommate has a printer, but sometimes it can be finicky. And it's not hooked up to this computer. But so I can have these in like my DM binder, so I can reference them easier, quicker than scrolling back and forth on my tablet. And in Silver Mine level 3. Make sure you're looking at like what level you are when you're running this. Got a little thing over here for what each of these things are. Although the graphics on there are pretty good. Magic circle, cool. Pedestal or urn here. All right. Introduction, and then this is gonna say the same thing as before. So they love this quote. They love this quote. Remember the golden days of role playing. Adventures were underground. I'm not gonna read that whole thing. Yeah, this is exactly the same as what was above. Well, I will say the second paragraph I think has a bit more in it. Is designed for 4 to 6 players, characters of 1 through 3rd level. While the characters can be of any basic character class, a rogue, a good aligned cleric are recommended for the party's ultimate survival. At least one strong fighter with a silvered weapon would also be helpful, but is not necessary. See the scaling information section for ways to tailor this adventure to your group's unique style of play. I have not playtested this, but if it's anything like D&D was discussed, the scaling and the CRs, it matters on what your players are doing and what how they interact with each other and they interact with the game. I feel like with especially if you're playing D&D, with the range of things that you can do in D&D and the kind of players and characters you can have in D&D, it's impossible to get CR right. It's going to be left up to the dungeon master to know their table and to know what their players can do, and then shape the monsters in that way. And also remember that while you're running combat, in the middle of combat, if you need to, if you know your table's not going to handle a TPK well, or if it's looking too easy. If it's looking too easy, that's easy. You can have just reinforcements show up. They come running around the corner. If it's they're not going to have TPK and there's rolling bad or whatever, offer a capture situation or something like that. And even above table, you can be like, listen, if not looking good, you might want to try to break out from the prison later, like a lower level. But I have not had that. The only time I've TPK'd my current party is when the finale of our last campaign. And that's because I gave them a bunch of magic stuff and then sent them at a lich. They didn't use any of the magic stuff. Barbarian just kept Barbarian, even though they had like the hand and eye of Vecna? Yeah, they had both hand and eye of Vecna. And when they died, their character became Vecna. What else did they have? They had Loki's staff, or at least my version of it. I don't remember everything else they had, but I gave them a lot of stuff that gave them access to spells, because they were mostly melee class characters. They just didn't use it. So I need to do better about knowing them that way too. They had their good and bad days too, but it seemed like that was going to be a good day for them. It was a fun story anyway, and they don't have complaints now about it. Like, I've asked them before, I'm like, I'm sorry about that TPK and everything. Are you okay? And they're like, yeah, no, it was fun. So yeah, so scaling, that's going to be more party dependent and player dependent. I only have 3 players too, so it's not like I have to account for all the things in the world. I play in a game every other Thursday where there's like, I think there's 6 of us. 1, 2. There's 6 of us technically, but there's only been 5 lately. So I don't envy their DMs trying to figure out like balance encounters for us. But again, that's not what I'm too worried about while reading all of these. It's about story ideas. Adventure Summary. The characters have arrived in the small mining town of Silverton. 2 days after a group of were-rat goblin bandits attacked a caravan carrying silver to the city of Archbridge to the north. The goblin tribe has taken up residence in an abandoned silver mine to the northwest and has been conducting the daring raids against the silver caravans for several months, crippling Silverton's silver trade. These were-rat goblins are under the leadership of a powerful human were-rat bard named Lawrence Gnu, who is exacting his family revenge on the town of Silverton for killing his grandfather and cursing his then infant father and grandmother for exiling them to the southern city of Soulgrave many years ago. With help from the desperate townsfolk, the characters have found their way to the entrance of the abandoned Gnu family silver mine. See, so that's what I'm here for. That adventure summary, like that could be a one-shot in itself. You really don't need more than that. There's just for like going to the monster manual and finding some were-rat goblins. They might not have were-rat goblins, just use were-rats and then maybe tweak them a little bit. Game Master section and counter table. See, I'm not going to use all that. What you can do is you can go in here and see what kind of monsters they're using, but I don't even. It says it's a table. How do you roll on this table? You just count how many and then roll that die versus that many. There's more over here. Help the GM prepare. We have included a quick reference table showing all encounters at a glance. Location numbered. Key to the map. The encounter. Module page number. The encounter can be found on. That's fine. I like that. The location part, I don't care. I see dire rats and goblins. That's what we're using. I'm gonna throw what I want at them when it seems fun. But if they're using so Portico's trap, poison needle trap, they're using the random table to figure out when traps pop up. That's something I might want to look at. Arrow traps. And figure out how they did that. But even then, yeah, I might want to roll this stuff before the session. Like this might be part of my prep. Names in italics are class NPCs. Like this Res Zomer here, were-rat goblin, 2 goblins. So that's kind of cool. They have some were-rats in here with, I'm assuming, since it's named and it's listed here, they'll have stats. Or the stats at the very end of the... Let's see. So this says they're going to be page 118 on page 10. I'm going to go ahead and go back down. I'm going to go down 10 and then we'll come back to 3. Okay? I should be able to click up here. This is 6, so let's go 6. See where that takes us. 11. Oh, went too far. Alright, page 10. Goblin Cheese Audience Chamber. So no, wasn't there. That's annoying. Alright, I'm just gonna scroll back up to 3. That's cool art. Alright. Scaling information. Idols of the Rat King is designed for 4 to 6 characters, the 1st to 3rd level, but it can be modified for parties of different sizes or levels. They're adapting the adventure as follows. Quicker parters, 3 or fewer characters, which is fine. Reduce the number of regular goblins or perhaps remove them entirely in these different areas. Okay, of the map. Stronger parties, 4th level and or more than 6 characters, and an additional 2 goblins to each goblin and were-rat goblin encounter. Change all dire rats to fiendish dire rats. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna follow the book. Oh, I can't highlight it. And we'll see how that works out, and I'll let you guys know. Getting the players involved. Following hooks can be used to get players involved with the plot. Let me take a D here. Peter Bread over on Twitch giving us some good chat emotes. Check on the nobody over on Moonbeam. That's okay. I appreciate you, Peter Bread. All right. How do I sound, Peter Bread? Can you let me know? Oh, it's asking me which one. My bad. That's user error. The following hooks can be used to get players involved with the plot. While washing the road dust from their throats at the Silver Cup Inn in Silverton, the characters overhear a young man telling the tale of an abandoned silver mine in the northeast of town that is the base location for goblins who have been attacking silver caravans traveling north. If the characters inquire about these events, you'll offer them 200 gold pieces if they can eliminate the threat. While visiting Rena the midwife in Silverton for healing herbs, a young nobleman stumbles in the door, very wounded. He says that he was guarding a caravan carrying silver north when it was ambushed by goblins. He was the lone survivor of the attack, left for dead, and witnessed the goblins heading east through the forest. Rena can tell the characters that there is an abandoned mine northeast of town that could be their lair. The young nobleman has taken to fever, may not live long. Rena would be most appreciative to the characters if they could root out the cause of this terrible event. And then the third plot hook you can use for the characters. Upon entering the small mining town of Silverton, the characters are approached by an old man that identifies himself as the leader of the miners' guild in town. The operations have been sabotaged, and caravans raided by goblins hailing from the northeast of town. He believes they are being aided by some ancient evil that is cause of closing the mine's operations and abandoned mining site a half day's travel northeast of town. You reward those characters that can eliminate this threat. For my group, I'd probably have to use the first one. They really like what's it for us. Although the last one did say like he's gonna reward them. I think, okay, how much are you reward us? Character death. If the party is knocked unconscious or if the character is knocked out, or I'm sorry, below 0 hit points, and the rest of the party flees, they are not left to die by the goblins and were-rats in the mine. Instead, the characters are stripped of their equipment and thrown into the holding cell, Area 213. Their equipment will be kept in the jailer's room in Area 214. Characters will awaken in the holding cell with one half their total hit points and no equipment. They'll discover that their wounds have been bound by the goblins. Is that the right turn of phrase? Wounds have been bound? The reason the characters are being saved is that Lawrence Gnu, who's in Area 410, wishes to create other were-rats to serve as dark rat gods. Characters can also return to Rena's house in Silverton for healing or to the Silver Cup Inn for rest. The midwife, Rena, will charge the party one half of her usual fee if the characters mention that they were wounded during their foray in the abandoned mine. If the character is brought to 10 hit points or lower, the character's dead body will be brought to Narzi Hillspec to an Area 3-4 for animation as a zombie miner. The equipment of the dead character will find its way to the treasure room. So this is fine. This is better than what it was saying, like on the level 0 stuff. Creatures listed as having miscellaneous coins for treasure, carry 1d6 copper pieces for normal goblins. It's a bunch about different values of money they may have. Yeah, it looks like it's all money. Background story. This is what I'm here for. This is just the first of 80 of these for $18. My tablet looks weird. Over here real quick. Does this look? Yeah, this looks. All right. History of Silverton. Silverton is a small village located 2 weeks north of the city of Soulgrave and 3 weeks south of the capital city of Archbridge. It's a small mining village that grew from the hard work of one merchant family, the Gnu family of Soulgrave. Jasper Gnu, prospector and patriarch of the Gnu family, discovered silver during a prospecting tour of the area over 100 years ago. He immediately spent his entire life savings on funding a small mining operation and opening the silver mine on a rich vein of ore. Miners and the poor, looking for work, flocked to the Gnu silver mine, creating a small boom town less than half a day's travel from the mine. Within a few months, the mining shafts broke through large underground chambers that were littered with bones and huge nuggets of silver ore. The miners found this to be strange, and priests were brought in from both Soulgrave and Archbridge to cleanse the area of evil spirits. All the while, Jasper was growing very rich and powerful from the silver that was transported to the Miners' Guild in Archbridge. Make sure we're not getting any chat from... Nope. I can have that up for a minute here while I'm doing this. In fact, I can do it there. There we go. Okay. 2 years after the mine opened, Silverton, as the Boomtown was called, began to erect permanent structures for the miners. The silver ore was plentiful, and other mines began to open to the west of town under the banner of Archbridge's Miner Guild. This is when disaster struck the Gnu silver mine. 2 years and 6 months to the day from when Jasper found the first silver vein, miners broke into a deep pocket under the earth. This pocket contained a hideous evil vampire named Serena, who killed more than 20 miners before she was finally fought back into her lair. The priests and wizards that were called in cast a mighty spell to lock the evil away. Miners turned on Jasper Gnu, now with wife and child, blaming him for catastrophic events. I mean, that's not fair. He didn't know the vampire was there. He was lynched and hung from a hastily made gallows in the center of Silverton. His wife and child were run out of town and cursed. May no child of Jasper Gnu's seed be able to touch the horrid silver that has brought such evil to this town. The Gnu family home was burned to the ground. The site was sown with thorny vines so that no one would ever be able to build on the spot again. At the rising of the next full moon, Jasper's wife and infant son awoke to find that they had become natural were-rats, forever cursed to that form and its susceptibility to silver weapons. This is an interesting story. Digging it. History of the Gnu family. Jasper's wife, Elizabeth, and her infant son, Aaron, fled from Silverton to Soulgrave. It was while they were there that they succumbed to the curse of lycanthropy that changed them into were-rats. Elizabeth threw her hands up to the glowing orb of the moon and hissed when she looked down at her innocent son's fear-covered form. As Aaron grew, Elizabeth told him of the terrible curse his father's former employees wrought upon him, and all those that were to come after him. Aaron came to hate the people of Silverton and swore that he would one day return to the town and have his revenge. Now we're talking. The years passed into decades, and Aaron sired his own children. He had become a powerful force in the dark underworld of Soulgrave, leading a small group of were-rats that lived in the sewers of the city. He never forgot what was done to his family, prepared his own son Lawrence to return to Silverton, now a permanent town. I wonder if his children are also born were-rats, or if he turned them. A little more than a year ago, probably they're born that way, right? Because the whole idea was that they can't touch the silver. The silver is the whole thing that's going on with it, right? So I guess they're born that way. Interesting. A little more than a year ago, Lawrence Canoe began making his way north towards Silverton. Now an accomplished bard and a full-blooded were-rat, he was set upon by a small band of goblins while he was on the road. He was captured and brought to the goblins' tribe. He bides his time until the goblins had turned their backs on him. He sprang on the goblins' leader and bit him, infecting the goblin with his were-rat curse. The shaman of the goblin tribe found this to be a great omen for their tribe and declared Lawrence their leader. Wonder what kind of bard he is. Like sings, he tells stories. Over the course of several months, Lawrence slowly infected goblins that were loyal to him with the curse of lycanthropy and taught them of their new gift. He also gave the tribe a new purpose to destroy Silverton. Two months ago, Lawrence stepped into the Silver Cup Inn, disguised as a wandering bard looking for work. He was hired on even as he began to move his tainted goblin tribe into the grandfather's abandoned mine. The goblins reopened the numerous levels of the mine and began to set up new defenses, as Lawrence sent word of caravans and where the other mines were located. While opening the mine's lower levels, goblins discovered that an evil gnome necromancer and his zombies already inhabited these levels. The gnome, Narzi Hillspit, and Lawrence struck a bargain and began mining the leftover deposits of ore. 1 month ago, the silver caravans traveling north to Archbridge from the Miners' Guild mines to the west of Silverton began to be attacked. The western mines were sabotaged and equipment was stolen. The dead were brought back to Narzi and reanimated as zombies and skeletons to mine silver or to fund Narzi's own dark projects. Now the characters have come into town. Wait a minute. Like, the were-rats are susceptible to silver, right? I have to take my meds. Right. I have to eat a banana for that. Just so you know, Moonbeam, I like bananas. I'm not shy about the way that I eat them. Go to the game master. Oh wait, I'm looking back at this other side where it said they couldn't touch the silver, right? The miners turned on now his wife and child, blaming him, lynched and hung for. May no child of Jasper Canoe's seed be able to touch the horrid silver that has brought such evil to this town. Then over here, they're working it while opening the mine's lower levels. Oh, so he can't. So the leader, Garnu, can't, but his workers can. But not if they're were-rats, right? Like, that's the whole point of making them were-rats? Opening the goblins discovered. Also, gnome, what happened to the vampire? A month ago, the silver caravans. Narzi and Lawrence export the silver ore they steal and mine to Narzi's black market contacts in Archbridge. They are well funded from it. Neither Narzi nor Lawrence knows of the ancient evil located on level 4 of the abandoned mine. Okay, so they're not down to the vampire yet. Nor that Lawrence goblins have discovered scraps of documentation from the time his grandfather. Oh. Vital clues to what the ancient evil actually is. The vampire. Lawrence is the last of the Garnu family and has recently moved his family bodies on his father's deathbed request to the mine. So his family's going to become the next zombies? I'm confused. We'll roll with it for now. We'll keep spinning. Maybe there's explanations. Through the dense underbrush and tangled trees, you have followed the beaten trail of the goblins that have been plaguing the town of Silverton. Before you is the open mouth of the abandoned Gnu's family silver mine. Time has come to be heroes. Abandoned silver mine level 1, the Goblin Lair. I wonder what would happen if we did a redeem on Twitch. You would probably hear it, I'm assuming, on Moonbeam, but probably not see it. Hi, Stream Master. Let me know if you. Well, that's not going to work. If you see anything while I run one of my, here's Bananarama, redeems on Twitch. Bananarama! Yes. Oh, it didn't even work on Twitch. Oh, well, no, there's a big delay. I have been summoned from the astral plane to aid in your quest and grant you strength. Wandering Monster appears. Hi, Derek. And hi, Stream Master. Good to see you. This is the first time I'm trying to dual stream and first time streaming to Moonbeam. I'm also live on Twitch. And we are looking at a humble bundle that is got a little over 8 days left. You can get all 84 items, including these 2 physical items, for $40. For what I did, I just did 82 items for $18. And some of the items aren't stories, but it's almost 80. It's almost 80 stories. So like, I feel like I have enough stuff to run D&D stuff for like probably the rest of my life at this point. So we've been looking at the first one so far, and that's probably all we'll get tonight because we're not even close to halfway through, and it was called Idols of the Rat King. But welcome on in. Thanks for being here. We are looking forward. I see. Oh, you did see the great banana. Nice. Yeah, I have a thing for bananas. Plus, I need to eat it to take bananas with it. But so we're gonna figure out how to convert these stories to D&D because this is actually made for a game that was similar to D&D, but it's more about the Dungeon Crawl stuff called Dungeon Crawl Classics. Also, the music's really quiet now, but when the music gets louder again, if you could let me know how I sound on Moonbeam, the new song about to start. If you can let me know how I sound compared to like the music and everything, that would be awesome. Waves hand, huzzah! I grant you membership into the Tabletop Guild. You shall find your Tabletop Guild badge in your Moonbeam profile. Wear it proudly, friend, and I wish thee well in your adventures here on Moonbeam. Thank you, Stream Master. I will wear it proudly. I will look for that after stream. Thank you so much for coming by. Fix my tablet Twitch view. All right, so this is the first level. Once the players get to the abandoned mine, if you tell me where you acquired such a banana, I'll tip 100 moonstones. Walmart. That's where I go to buy my bananas. But it's more about how into I am and what it looks like when I eat them. Hi. I don't want to talk about my mouthful. All halls are 10 feet wide and 7 feet high. So that's like only 2 people basically go by 2 by 2. Made of rough stone. This is a silver mine, just so you know. New people on from Moonbeam. Rooms at this level are 7 feet high. Their ceiling meets the walls. and 10 to 11 feet in the center of the room. Each wall of this level is there to be unworked stone. Okay, so it's probably you can probably like describe it as like silver veins in the walls, which would be pretty and shiny and reflective. It almost look like the night sky at times. That could be fun. All doors are considered to be simple wooden doors with the following game statistics, unless otherwise noted to the room text. 5 feet thick, hardness 8, HP 900. So that's obviously the HP 900. That's obviously what's it called? Dungeon Crawl Classics. Thank you so much for that tip, Derek. It's awesome. I'm not going to make my players do 900 damage if there's a level 1 to level 3 adventure. Basically, I would just see if they hit a couple times, especially if you feel like a strong character. Let your characters be the stars of the story. Okay? You know, 900 HP, that seems wild even for this system. Break DC 65, so that's obviously not a D&D number. Climb DC 20. So, there's door stuff in the DMG, but basically, like, you know, just use common sense, especially if there's no. I mean, even if there are enemies on the other side, they'll be alerted, so you won't get like a surprise round or anything. But like, nobody is stopping them. Nobody's in this room to stop them. You're gonna get the door open, if it's even locked. Because you have to also think about if the goblin were-rats are working this stuff, right, and the zombie and the necromancer stuff are working this. They're probably not gonna be locking the doors all the time. They're not gonna be expecting intruders except for maybe like the front main door or something. Wandering monsters is a 15% chance with a 320 per half hour that the characters come across a random encounter while in a corridor in an empty room. The chance increases by plus 5% if the characters are not being cautious or making noise, plus 10% if they're yelling and causing loud noises. So this again is going back to like AD&D, right? And 3.5, that kind of stuff. You can use this stuff if your party thinks it's fun, and random encounters in general fun. What I would do is per session, like let's say they're not going to get through this whole dungeon in a session, figure out 2 or 3 fights they can have, because fights take a long time. For one thing, the players are going to be debating endlessly on what they want to do. Sometimes you just put that wood door in front of them, and you can go have a stack. Come back in a half hour. They're not going to know what they want to do with the door. But my group especially, they're going to want some combat, and they're going to want some time to role play. So just 2 or 3 encounters, 2 or 3 fights. I think it's more important that night they had a satisfying time that night than my group isn't about the realism. All this number crunching, it's up to you if you want to run it this way. But know your players, know your group, and if you're brand new, run it like this, and then ask your players after each session, what was fun, what can I change? I know for my group, I'm not going to be rolling. I'm not going to wait every half hour. I can kind of sense when they're ready for something else or something new. Even when we were doing dungeons in the last campaign, we ran through a few dungeons that were like this. They were pre-made modules. We wouldn't get out through a whole. Sometimes it took us at least 3 sessions to get through a somewhat simple, short dungeon. So, because combats take a long time, they just do. 1 to 3, level 1 to 3 characters, though, it's a little faster. They're not going to be as overwhelmed with all the options they have. But so far, I like all the story stuff it's giving me. So basically what I'm telling you is I'm not here for this. But if you are, it's here. It's here for you. Or if you're brand new, this is a good place to start. The following statistic blocks are provided for easy reference. Oh, cool. So they do have some of the stats in here. And I like that they have it in here as soon as you're going to need it. As soon as you could run into them, you have the stats. So I like that. Areas of the map. Area 1-1. Now remember, this is way up at the beginning. I'm not going to scroll up and down because that can be hard on the eyes, especially viewers. But the maps were at the beginning of the book, which is why I said like I would like to print them out instead of scrolling back and forth, even though I like have my tablet. But areas of the map. Hidden entrance. There's a hidden entrance on the first area. Right away, you have a hidden door. Before entering Area 1-1 by the corridor from the surface, the party must find the hidden door at the collapsed end of the tunnel. Read or paraphrase the following when the characters turn the last corner. Before you are the collapsed remnants of the tunnel you have been following. I read that funny. Before you are the collapsed remnants of the tunnel you've been following. Small footprints can be seen entering the wreckage. As if it was there must be a secret door. I would leave this up to a perception check. Well, unless, is there no other... If this is a secret door, that means there's a different entrance. That means there's a different path I can take. If there's no other path I can take, yes, just give it to him. You don't want the rest of the plot to be hidden behind a roll. Well, probably shaking my camera, sorry about that. But if there's another path, more obvious path, then this should be behind a perception check. Character may roll a search or spot skill check, which is it is a perception check. Discover a hidden latch that causes the end of the tunnel to rise. If the characters begin breaking their way through the wreckage, the goblin guards in Area 1-1 beyond the door hear them and send a goblin to summon reinforcements from Areas 1-3 and 1-5, while another locks the secret door. The secret door has the following statistics. And, well, these look more realistic. HP 20. Okay, so was that first number? Was this unword stone? Oh, this is a wall. Here's the door, 10 HP. Silly me. DC 13 stuck. Okay, 15 locked. Okay. My bad. I can read real goodly, I promise. Okay, so this makes sense. The wall has 900 hit points. The door has 10 hit points. My bad. Yes, that does make sense. I was like down here. I was like, wait, why is this door so much easier to get through? This one has 20 hit points. That one had 10 hit points. Well, I guess it's a strong one. Also, it's blocking in secret passages, right? So yeah, okay. Now those numbers make a lot more sense. I'm getting a little tired, fam. Okay, so once the party reaches the secret door, read or paraphrase the following as they enter. The hidden entrance opens into a low, rough-walled room that is 40 feet by 50 feet. 4 small humanoids turn to glare at you with evil red eyes. Erathra! Screams a burly goblin as he and his companions reach for their naked weapons lying near them. Okay. Banana. Four characters who speak goblin. Large goblins. Stirs. Sorry if you couldn't hear that. I don't know why I tried to talk with my clicking left. The goblins in the room are not surprised by the party's sturdy appearance through the secret entrance to their lair. They are ready for combat and will fight to the death. Other than their worn equipment, the goblins have nothing else of value. So, this is harkening back to the old dungeons, and that might be why I was talking about fighting to the death. But remember that you don't always have to do that. And especially if it makes more sense to the story, or if you're worried about TPK or something like that, that they can... they were talking about going to get reinforcements before. They can run back to the next room to get reinforcements. I don't like that being in there. That seems a little pushy. Maybe that's showing it that it's dated. In the eastern wall of the southeast corner of the room is a secret door that leads down a short tunnel. It is only 4 feet high. This tunnel leads to another secret door, Area 1-5. Both of these secret doors require a search or spot skill check, DC 15 to find. And again, D&D, that's a perception check. And that's also assuming there are other paths to take. If there's no other paths to take, You shouldn't lock it behind a perception check or a spot check or anything. Just tell them like after a while they find the thing. During the first round of combat, the goblins throw their daggers at whoever enters the room first. There's those goblins. There's that art I liked before. They have crossbows, but they're throwing daggers. Maybe because they weren't prepared. Then they pull their hand axes and attack in melee on the next round. Goblins hold their ground and do not flee from combat, even if faring badly against the party. They are frightened more of their were-rat masters than they are the party. Okay. That now gave us a reason why they might not flee. Then it gives you the goblin stats there. I love it. Outer barracks 1-2. Read or paraphrase the following. Squat wooden door to this 30-foot square room opens into a mess of refuse and a solidly built table with 6 small chairs look to be made from the bed of a wagon. The 4 corners of the room contain piles of soiled clothes and blankets. 6 unrolled bedrolls lie on the floor in the northern half of the room. Characters succeed on a listen skill check. Notice a rustling sound coming from the pile of soiled clothes in the northwestern corner of the room. 2 dire rats eating the garbage under the clothes are making these sounds. If the pile is disturbed, dire rats leap out of the pile to attack. Why are they... Two dire eating the garbage under the clothes. Why did they put the clothes over top of them? Maybe they're just... How'd the garbage get under the clothes? I don't know. Maybe it'll explain later, like it did earlier. Dire rats. There's the dire rat stats. I would see our third. I would see if you have the new monster manual and your references. See if this is still good stats to have. I don't like that they have all of these. Not just like the modifiers. Skills and feats, alertness. Okay. I guess I couldn't be surprised anyway. Oh, that did let me highlight it that time. Cool. But I lost my chat. Moonstream chat. There it is. All right. And then 1-3. So no, I guess this is just a sneaky kind of encounter. I think this flimsy inset, but I think it's fine. Especially for my party, it's fine. Read or paraphrase the following when they go into Area 1-3, the main barracks. Upon opening the door to this 50-foot square room, the pungent stench of urine and unwashed bodies assault your senses. So it's getting nastier and nastier as you're getting through here. A series of small cloth pillows dominates the southwestern corner of the room, while the rest of the floor is covered with numerous dirty straw mats and bedrolls. 7 green humanoids stand as you enter, grinning from ear to pointed ear as they draw small, wicked-looking swords from their scabbards. I guess they've been itching for a fight. They're very happy to fight you, I guess. Seven humanoids are goblins. Why not just say that humanoids are? Oh, I skipped a paragraph. There are 2 ways to enter this room. The first is by the secret door in the western end of the north wall. The other is by the wooden door in the southern wall. The south door is locked from the inside by a simple lock. DC 20. 7 humanoids are goblins. They were warned that there are intruders by the goblins in Area 1-1. They will not be caught unaware by the party unless great pains were taken to keep their movements quiet. GM's discretion, everything GM's discretion. Other than the equipment that the goblins carry, there's nothing else of value in this room. Tactics. These goblins are more frightened of the were-rat goblins and Lawrence than they are the characters. They fight viciously and give no quarter. None of these goblins speak common. They will all fight to the death. Interesting, they don't speak common. I wonder if that's like a newer. I wonder if the fact that they don't speak common is like something that was common back in the day. I do not know. You go into 1-4, outer dining room, kitchen. Door in the north wall of this 30-foot by 40-foot room opens easily on squeaky hinges to a room filled with 3 long tables. These tables each have dented tin plates of leftover food and crude wooden goblets stained with aged and spilled wine. The room smells like rotting meat, stale beer. 2 small black cauldrons stand over cold fire pits. In the southeast corner of the room, a small table stands near these, with vials of strange spices and bits of unidentified meat. A large barrel rests in the southwest corner. So it's the dining room, but it doesn't seem like there's any enemies in here. Which is good. You don't want enemies in every room, because it will be like... you can get goblin food poisoning. That's funny. That's funny. If you try to eat it, you get food poisoning. The characters research the room. Nothing of interest here. The cauldrons only hold some leftovers. A goblin feast, and the barrel is only half full of cheap ale. Any character wishes to eat any of the food or drink ale of this room, have the character roll a fortitude save or suffer. Even from the ale? Oh, it's stale ale. Interesting. 1-5, inner guard post EL1. Reader paraphrase the following. This 40-foot by 40-foot room has 2 small round tables, 7 chairs, and many straw mat beds. The eastern and southern walls hold the only 2 exit doors from this room. 4 goblins turn to look at you with smiles on their evil faces, each is swinging a loaded crossbow to bear at you. We finally get to the crossbows. These goblins are warned by the goblin runner from Area 1 about the intruders in the mines, so they are ready and expecting attack. Only if the characters can sneak up on the goblins or enter through the secret door in the north wall will the goblins be caught off guard. Detecting the secret door in the north wall requires a skill check of 15. These goblins fight to the death. We've learned so far, right, that all these goblins are scared. They're scared. Fire their ready crossbows during the first round of combat, concentrating their fire on spellcasters, those characters with readied missile weapons. On the second round, they pull their short swords and small shields and enter melee. I like that idea. And it's not about realism, taking time to reload or anything like that. It's about a mindset of a guard or somebody in the situation. Smaller room. You're probably gonna have the characters coming up into melee, at least one of them anyway, by this point. So it makes sense that these guards who know that you've already faced several of their opponents on their way in, that they shoot and then go to sword and strength, sword and shield, which they probably have more training, which is not something we have in D&D. I don't think we should complicate D&D more to add these things, but like there almost should be an extra proficiency bonus for your main weapon. And I like the idea of running monsters like this, and it also makes them feel more I don't know the word. It's not realistic, necessarily. But I don't know. I like that. I like that. Secret Vault number 1, room 1-6. Parentheses EL2. This is just probably referencing all the stuff I told us earlier on how to find these. I don't know. This is a weird. To find entrance to this room, a character must be actively looking for secret doors, or an elf must pass within 5 feet of the door. In either case, a search or spot skill check is required for DC 15. Once the door is found, opening is easy process. The person opening the door does not attempt to search for traps on the door. DC 22. It's bring the poison needle trap see below. The secret door is made of stone and swings away from the hallway up towards the ceiling when opened. Oh, up towards the ceiling. Once the door is opened, reader prays the following. So this is also harkening back to D&D 1A, where you would have people always saying, "Okay, I'm searching for secret doors." You still say, "I'm looking for traps," and once you find a door, you might want to look for traps, check for traps. But back then, you used to always have to be telling me, I'm looking for secret doors all the time. I would just have them rolling a perception check basically every room they go into, every hallway they go into, or maybe just ask a passive perception. And if they have a decent passive perception, they can see that something's up over here, and then they can maybe try and roll investigation check or something like that. But if you hide the cool stuff too well, people aren't going to find it. And there's not going to be a rogue in every party. Back in the day, 3.5, 1E, everything, you wanted to have a very balanced party. You wanted to have a rogue in every party. Somebody that could handle the spell magicking things. You wanted to have this balanced party. Nowadays, I feel like some of that takes away the fun. I have ideas of characters I want to play in the future, and I don't always want to worry about party composition in order to let me play that character. And most of the time, it's about something I'm excited to roleplay more than anything. So I don't have my players do that, and I don't worry about players party comp too much, even when they're just doing dungeon crawls like this. We're not going to get through this whole thing tonight, by the way, fam. We're at 11 of 36, and it's getting kind of repetitive at this point anyway. We are going to try to go a little bit longer. Maybe we can make it till 10 p.m. Eastern. But just letting you know ahead of time that I'm starting to feel it. And we're at 11 of 36. We made it a good way through. We'll see how far we make it. Maybe we can get through all the ones. We're at area 1-6 right now. The 20-foot by 40-foot room is nearly bare. A single wooden chest lies on the floor in the southern part of the secret room. This chest is a decoy. They had to spot it. They had to be looking for secret doors. They had to roll high. They had to roll high to test for traps or get hit. And then they open it and the chest is a decoy. Nothing in the locked DC-15 chest. However, secret doors are searched for. DC-18. A stone slab in the floor can be moved aside to reveal +1 silver longsword. A piece of ripped parchment resting in the niche beneath. That's a cool equipment and stuff. This is interesting. I might just have this stuff be in the chest. Especially if they have to open the chest. If they have to pick the lock. But this feels very. This feels like it's pushing it. Pushing the patience of the players. A thick layer of dust covers the sword, and the goblins and were-rats of this place do not know of its existence. Sword and scrap of paper come from when the priests came to cleanse the area of the ancient evil. A young fighter who had been gravely wounded while he did battle against the evil Serena left these behind. Refer to player's handout A for what the notes read. I don't remember if we saw the player's notes earlier or not, but they could also be at the end. But I do like that it includes, a lot of these books include player handouts, player notes. So here's the poison needle trap, CR1, +8 ranged, 1 plus green blood oil poison. Search DC 20. Disable device 20. Green oil poison injury, fortitude. That says con save, right? 1d2 con. Price 100 GP. So I guess like if you disable it, you could take the oil out and sell it for 100 gold pieces. That's kind of cool. Stone door 4 inches. HP 60 for a stone door is interesting. 28 locked. We're stuck. I don't know about all that. But But I like that you can, that it has this, the price of the poison here. That like if you do disable this trap, you can take the poison out and sell it. That's cool. Inner barracks. 1-7. Unlike the other rooms that have contained bedrolls and sleeping mats, this 40 by 40 foot room has double wooden bunk beds. There are 3 double bunks in all. Excuse me, sorry about that. At the end of each bunk is a small chest that has rusty iron hinges and no lock. There's nothing of value in small chests at the foot of each bunk. However, the successful DC 21 surge skill, which is perception check in D&D, is made in the area of the bunks. A small purse of 10 gold pieces can be found under a mattress. Blankets and sheets of the bunks, along with the clothes in the chest, are all dirty and full of fleas and bugs. Yeah, I definitely could do that in mine. The door in the southern part of the western wall is the only way into or out of this room. 1-8 War Room. Read or paraphrase the following. This small 20 foot by 40 foot room holds a single 10 foot long table with 5 straight back chairs. One of these chairs is at the head of the table with 2 chairs on either side of the table. A single silver candlestick rests in the center of the table. The weapon rack hangs on the north wall, empty of any weapons. Okay. This meeting room appears to be empty unless this was search skill check DC 24 is made in the area around the weapon rack. To succeed, a single loose stone can be found on the wall to the left of the rack that hides a piece of folded paper worn in yellow with age. This piece of paper is player's hand of B. Okay, the single candlestick is worth 5 gold pieces. 5 gold pieces for a candlestick? I guess it's silver. It's made of silver. So I would lower all of these DCs. Remember, these are characters 1 to 3. Now, this could be a differences between Dungeon Crawl classes and D&D. I would lower like all of these checks by like 8. Maybe even 10. DC 24, so I'd say that's 14. Because DC 12 is a normal success for like levels 1 to 3. But things you would expect level 1 to 3 to be. Again, this is a player handout. This is something, you know, you probably printed out 2 handouts to players anyway. But, you know, you don't have to guarantee to give them. And each of these rooms, I would be asking for perception checks when you come into these rooms anyway. Just so that when you do have things like this. But yeah, I would lower all these DCs. Yeah, probably by 10. Probably by 10. Including like this break DC, the 18. I mean, again, it's stone. But there's no way to hit the 28 at level 1 through 3. It would have to critically succeed in D&D. Now, a con check of 3, that doesn't make sense. So this I might leave at 13, maybe lower to 10. So maybe even like the idea is to divide by 2. So this is 14. 13, 6 or 7. Which is fine for this low level. Poison, disable device. I don't know if it should be a 10. I don't know. Yeah, I would have to modify these depending on the party. Like, disabling device, like, if your characters don't have this skill, first of all, they probably won't be asking to roll it to disable traps, but also, like, you don't want to make it easy. So that might be a reason to leave this at 20. But, if you're wanting them to find a handout, a player handout that's meant to be handed out during this, mission, this dungeon, then you know you don't want them to have to crit in order to get the handout. Unless the handout is just like free pass to the end of the dungeon. Area 1-9 Armory. The door to this room is locked with an average quality lock. D25 at least minus 10, so 15. I mean, it is the armory, so it's gonna be harder to pick this lock. But once the door is bypassed, read or paraphrase the following. The locked door opens onto 30 foot by 20 foot room filled with crates, barrels, boxes, and racks filled with weapons. Most of these weapons are crude and rusted. However, they do appear to be in serviceable order. Finally, something that actually works and you can use. And filled with weapons, okay. Crude and rusted though, so successful search or spot skill check of DC 16 indicates the character found a weapon of average quality. 20 or higher, get the character found a masterwork weapon. So this is actually something you find more and more modern. This is actually more of a modern ruler as well. That, like, if you get a really high perception check, it's almost like a luck check. This is something I've been seeing more and more lately that I didn't see in my early watching actual plays, which, if you don't know anything about me, is that I watch or listen to actual plays most of the time. That's probably what I'm doing if I'm not streaming or playing DND or an actual a TTRPG. I'm probably watching or listening to one. But yes, that's something that's more normal. So that's cool. This is in an older book. So 4 short swords, 6 rusty short swords, -1 damage. I mean, the rust though, like if that gets in somebody, it's always gonna do more damage. Not that you want, you want to have some reason to have it be less good. Maybe it'd be like more likely to break or chip or something. But I don't know. 1 masterwork great axe, 2 crude short bows, 4 rusty short spears, and a partridge in a pear tree. Interesting. 100 arrows. I also don't make my players keep track of it. I don't care. 110. Lair of the Rats. Reader paraphrase the following. A strange magical darkness covers the interior of this room. The only sound escaping from the impenetrable darkness is a soft squeaking noise. As if noticing the open door, squeaking gets louder and closer to the door. I like that. I like that paragraph. That was well written. Ominous. Good stuff. This 40 by 20 foot room is the central lair for all of the dire rats on this level. They come here to wallow and sift through the garbage that the goblins leave behind. There are 5 of the animals hiding in this permanent darkness effect. They attack any non-goblin and non-were-rat to open the door, including undead. Okay, so like the zombies don't get away with anything. That's interesting. Once again, it has the stats right there, so you don't have to go looking for them. Love it. Serena the vampire, trapped in the lower level of the mine, caused the darkness effect when she faced the combined might of the priests and wizards that attempted to drive her back to her underground prison. She used this darkness to escape one of their traps, but was foiled in the end. Now the darkness remains behind. A light spell temporarily dispels the darkness for the duration of the spell, at which time the darkness returns, unless the characters have the blind fight feat. All attacks, including those made by the dire rats, are made at -4. I dig that. And I think it's cool too, because normally the light spell doesn't do anything to magical darkness. But I like the idea of this one being a little different. That's kind of cool. Move silently, +4. Basically a stealth. Swim. That's interesting. Think about the dire rat swimming. Which makes sense, but I've never thought about it before. 111. Inner dining room / kitchen. The 30-foot by 50-foot room smells like rancid milk and stale beer. 6 small tables seem to have been placed randomly around the room. Small chairs surround each of the tables, which have old tin plates with rotting food left on them. A cauldron and workbench take up the southern portion of the room. 2 sacks of flour seem to be moving on their own in the southwestern corner of the room. Where have we seen this before? The characters go to investigate, have them roll DC 17 and listen 15. See small tufts of black fur or hear the squeaking of 2 dire rats. They are rummaging through the floor, sacks for food. These rats leap out of the sacks and attack if anyone disturbs them. They fight until they reach half their normal hit points and then run for the door in the north wall. Okay, these ones don't fight to the death. I like the variety there, and it's already built into the dungeon. That's a good reminder too, because sometimes you get wrapped up, and you're trying to think of all these things, remember all these things you want to have happen, managing, players' excitement levels and everything. It's nice to have this right here, or as a reminder as you're running this dungeon, this variety. I'm really digging this. This is the first one we opened, and we all opened it because it was alphabetically the first one. Right? This page is alphabetical, I feel like. Yeah. It was alphabetically the first one of the level 1 to 3 things. And I'm already digging it. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Alright. I hope that they're all like this. Area 112, Secret Vault number 2. Finding the cleverly hidden secret door to this room is a difficult chore. Again, the skill checks, I'm gonna change all these skill checks. Shows the location of the door. Opening the door is an easy task. However, the portcullis trap on the door needs to be disarmed, or the first person to walk through the door may be heavily damaged. Reader paraphrase the following. The secret door begins to slide up after the catch was released. Behind this door is a 40-foot by 30-foot room. This room contains 3 large crates with red lettering across their sides. The lettering reads, Archbridge Mining Guild. This must be a portion of the missing silver shipments to Archbridge. These crates are in fact part of the missing from the Archbridge mining shipments. These crates came from a caravan a few weeks ago. Each contains 1,500 gold piece values of silver ore. Each crate weighs 600 pounds and is made of heavy wood. It takes a crowbar and a great deal of strength to open the crates. Lawrence Goblins put these crates here for emergency funds in case law enforcement from either Archbridge or Soulgrave came to investigation. I don't normally bother my party about like encumbrance and stuff like that, but when something like this is going to be big and heavy, they're going to need to figure out, a way to move it. That just makes sense. So it seems like everything's going smooth on the double string. This is awesome. Hopefully, didn't just cause everything to go weird. These crates, yeah, I read that. Okay, Porco's track. 3d6 damage from that trap. That's fine. If the party is really pushing, and they could end up this could be a good, check yourself before you wreck yourself situation right here. Maybe recover a little bit. I don't hate it. Also, like, to remind your party that, rogues exist. I might need to recommend, I've been trying to get my barbarian player to try like fighter, just to try something different. Not because they don't enjoy barbarian, because at times they get bored with it. Like, oh yeah, I know what I can do. What I can do. And so I'm like, well, if you want to expand on that, fighter's not that much more complicated. Especially, once you figure out what path you want to go down and everything. And they usually end up just going back to barbarian. But maybe I should pitch some rogue. On the other hand, I think they like getting up close melee. So, and rogues are really rogues really want to be like shooting from the back. But maybe a swashbuckler rogue. They don't mind game. I don't know, something to think about. It's been a while since I've streamed. It's been a while since I've talked this much. My throat is like, dude. Area 113, Shrine to the Rat Gods. This small 20-foot by 20-foot room appears to be a personal shrine. A stone statue of a large rat rests on a small altar at the center of the south wall of the room. Two large black-furred rats turn to look at you. As you open the door, a single high-pitched squeak being your only warning before they attack. In unison. Stone statue. Interesting. As soon as the door opens, two dire rats attack the party. These rats are protecting the shrine. Anyone who's not a were-rat or a goblin, they fight to the death. The stone statue is a statue of the rat god Nimlurin, Lord of Filth. Love that. It's worth 50 gold pieces. They have appraise checks in here. That's interesting. The collector is made from granite commonly found to the south near Soulgrave. Interesting. Unholy sleep chamber. 114. Do I remember how many rooms are in each? Is that level 1? Reader paraphrase. This 20-foot by 40-foot room is decorated in a macabre. I know I said that wrong. Macabre fashion. Skulls of humans, elves, dwarves, and gnomes hang from the ceiling by fine steel chain. The glory remnant of a halfling is crucified to the south wall by metal spikes between two small straw mattress beds. The stink of pungent incense and death permeates every inch of this room. The room is the sleeping quarters of the were-rat goblin clergy of the rat gods. 216. The skulls and the halfling's corpse are grim decorations the were-rats have decided are to their personal liking. There is nothing of value in this room. Let me get my meds in me. I've ate most of this banana. I'll take another bite of banana. Because I don't want to forget to take my meds. Make sure you're taking your meds, fam. Make sure you're taking your meds. Make sure you're hydrating. Eating regularly. Basically taking care of yourself. I should get water for this instead of the tea. 2 seconds. Like my mug. I think that was the first time I've streamed since I had the mug. That was a reveal. Discovering the well-hidden door to the secret vault number 3. Once the secret door has been located, the 5 arrow traps must be bypassed to gain safe entrance to this room. Once the door has been breached, read or paraphrase the following. The secret door swings open on silent hinges to reveal the dust-covered floor, 30-foot by 30-foot room. 2 glowing balls of pale white light provide a dim illumination to this room. The balls rest atop 2 black iron-wrought candelabras that stand 6 feet tall each. Candelabras stand on either side of a large square stone coffin. The coffin's lid is carved in the bas relief of a man in armor, lying on his back with his hands folded across his chest. Under his hands, he holds a mighty sword. This must be the tomb of a very important warrior. Candelabras are lit by a permanent light spell effect. Iron rock candelabras are worth 50 gold pieces and weigh 40 pounds each. Excuse me. The stone coffin is ancient, and anyone who succeeds in a knowledge history check or bardic, a history check, discovers this is the coffin of Huron Aurelis, great warrior general of Archbridge, who died 50 years ago to an assassin's poisoned blade. His numerous Confederate followers spirited his body away to a secret tomb so he would not be tampered with. It was rumored for many years that his followers were looking for a way to revive him from death, to lead the army of Archbridge against the assassins that killed him. No one knew what came of him after that. That's cool. That's a neat little thing there. The coffin is covered in dust and is sealed with lead. Characters seeking to open the coffin need to succeed a strength check to remove the lid. Inside the coffin are the skeletal remains of Huron. I was wondering if like he was just a zombie or something. A rusted helmet, a blouse, a bastard sword, and a small chest resting between his feet. The small chest contains 6 cure light wounds potions, healing potions, and a remove disease potion. The sword and potions all detect as magical. Bastard sword is a blessed +1 bastard sword given to Huron over 80 years ago by the Lord of Archbridge. The arrow trap, +10 to hit, 1d6 times 3 if it crits. Okay, so it's up to 2, you get times 3. That's interesting on a trap. It's also like interesting that rolling to hit instead of like rolling for a save, like saves kind of thing. You know, for a D&D, you might want to tweak this right here to a dex save, but maybe on a natural 1 they take 3d6s instead of 2. Also, it's just an arrow. I guess there's 5 arrows. But it's interesting. They have the way that they do it again, and like to me, this just looks more complicated. But maybe that's just because I learned D&D first. To be fair. All right, we're still not done. It's 5 till 10, so we're gonna make it till 10 at least. 116, Shrine to the Rat Gods. We have another one, right? Because there's already a Shrine to the Rat Gods earlier. This 30-foot by 20-foot room is decorated in draping black and red silk scarves of intricate design. Many of these scarves sway and move as if being pushed by an unseen and unfelt breeze. Ooh. The center of the northern wall is kept free of these scarves and has a large statue to a half-rat, half-man abomination. The statue appears to be made of green marble and has 2 red glowing rubies for eyes. The rest of the altar is decorated by numerous scrolls, scraps of food, and solidified candle wax pools. There are 17 old silk scarves draped from the ceiling, each worth 2 gold piece. The marble statue of this rat god, Naramonth, Lord of Disease. I love the names of these rat gods. This marble statue stands 6 feet tall, weighs 300 pounds. To collect the statue would fetch 650 gold pieces. Now, obviously, it would also depend on you finding the collector, and then you know what they want to haggle. 2 rubies that form the eyes of the statue are cut and polished to reflect light, so it seems the statue eyes glow red. Each of these rubies, if removed from the statue, will be worth 100 gold pieces. The numerous scrolls of the altar are written in Sylvan to describe the evil religious canon of Naramonth. These may be worth 25 gold pieces to a collector. The scraps of moldy food and dried solidified pools of candle wax are valueless. There's nothing else of interest in this room, but it's cool. It's cool. Like, I wouldn't have come up with all these things. I don't know if I would have thought of having 2 different shrines, 2 different rat gods. So I'm really liking what I'm reading from this. And I'm liking the linear format and how short each room's description are. So like I can read this as they enter this room, or as they're finishing wrapping up the last room. I can read this real quick, or while they're role playing, and be ready for the next room. On each of these rooms, I really like the way that this particular adventure was written and is laid out. 117, personal quarters of the Goblin Chief. At first glance, his 20-foot by 40-foot room appears to be a large bedchamber, an ancient noble line. It is not until your eyes adjust to the strange blue light of the black candles lit around the room that you realize this is just a collection of odd trophies from numerous noble families. Look at that art. I kind of dig this all black and white too. It's a little hard on the eyes because this one's so busy and so much going on. And it's black and white, but very cool. Large 4-poster bed, still on the first floor, dominates the southern portion of the room, complete with a heavy oak dresser in the southeast corner. An old oval area rug covers the center of the floor, and a small table and chair rest against the middle of the west wall. Old broken shields. I lost my place. And faded paintings decorate all the walls of this room. The largest shield is above the head of the bed, with a black falcon holding a pick and a shovel in its talons. That's just cool detail that I might not be able to come up with on my own. This is the personal quarters of the Goblin Chief Rezamar. See below. He has collected odd family crests and shields from numerous years he spent raiding caravans before coming to the mines. The large shield above the bed has the ancient family crest of the Gnu family. Strange candles lit around the room are normal candles treated with strange liquids. These candles are commonly used in religious and arcane ceremonies amongst the elves to produce an ethereal effect. Each candle is worth 1 copper piece. Resmore was given these candles by his scouts when they first entered the mine. They found them on one of the lower levels in a room full of wreckage. Might be important later. The other crests are left for the GM to design and insert to fit your campaign world. Goblin Chief's audience chamber. This 50-foot by 30-foot room has been draped with multicolored moth-eaten scarves and bolts of moldy fabric in an attempt to make it appear regal. A large high-backed wooden chair sits against the middle of the west wall. A large hairy goblin sits in the chair wearing black studded leather armor and flanked by 2 goblins to either side. They carry short spears. They look at you and smile at your intrusion. You've been out slaying my tribe. I can smell their blood on you, says the sieged goblin. Before we end your lives here, I would know the names of the heads that will be mounted on the chamber walls. So, just as first level has a mini-boss. Love it. Not all the dungeons that I played before have that. The hairy goblin is Rezamor, of course, chieftain of this tribe of goblins, and a were-rat goblin follower of Lawrence Gnu. He waits to hear what the characters have to say and doesn't care. After the initial exchange and the characters' responses, reader paragraphs is following. Well then, it's time to show you why Lawrence put me in charge. Gebrock Grudagaw. That almost sounds like Klingon. For those characters who can understand Goblin, Rezamor commands his guards to kill the characters. I watch a lot of Star Trek. I have not learned Klingon. It just sounded like Klingon to me. A locked iron grate is hidden behind some of the draped cloth. A successful perception check in the southeast corner of the room reveals the grate. Grate is locked. Average quality lock. Nearly 100 years has been there. This time of Serena's initial escape and recapture. Under the grate is a metal ladder that leads down 50 feet. Area 2-1. If this is the only way to proceed through the dungeon, do not make them roll for it. Just tell them, after they kill the thing and after they start looking around, after a while they see this. Close inspection of the grate shows the bars are made of black tarnished silver and have arcane and divine runes, words, and symbols placed on them. If a detect magic spell is used, Great Glows has moderate abjuration. Magic is permanent ward against undead. Meant to keep Serena locked deep in the bowels of the mind. Cool. That's just nice flavor. Love it. Tactics. In the first round, the bodyguard slows with characters in melee, while Rasmore changes into his rat goblin hybrid form. In this form, his armor stretches at the seams, but still holds. He had it built too big. On the second round, Rasmore joins the battle, attempts to attack any archers and spellcasters first, removing them from combat. Battle continues until either Rasmore or all the characters are dead. Rasmore and his bodyguards chase characters from the room, and through this entire level, only Rasmore will go down the locked iron gate. And this is his stats. Goblin form and dire rat form. Why is this hybrid form? I don't understand. And then the goblin bodyguards, and then we're at level 2. So next time we'll pick up on level 2. Maybe we will try the maybe we'll try a different book. See how that goes. But this has been a good stream, a good night. Thank you everybody for stopping by. Moonbeam, I do not believe has raids yet, but let me see if there's anybody on Twitch that I can raid. Actually, I'll need to change screens before I do that, or else we'll be lost in the void. But thanks, Moonbeam people, for coming and hanging out.